Hi, I really hope you're picking this up because I just had a frantic few moments there before we went live, but we are now live and welcome to Q&A Friday. I am so glad you've turned up. Thank you, 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 thank you. Did I say thank you enough there? I'll say it again. Thank you. It was really, really good of you. Let me just go and check over here and make sure everything's connecting just as it should be. Scary doing it live because you have to check everything and you don't know if it's like working or not until everything's okay. Let me just do a little sound check here. To grab an earphone because I have another machine connected and hopefully it's all okay in there. It sounds okay. So let's get going. So first Q&A Friday, we've got a few questions to go through. I've got them written down on my little notepad because I was going to use my new fancy iPad that I bought the other day and then only literally got delivered about 5 minutes before I was due to hit go live, and I couldn't believe it. I was sat here and I'd already been in another room and got all like, I need to change locations. There's not enough light in here. So then I had to move into a different room and put one of my artificial lights up as well, one of my photocell lights, because I was like, God, this place is so dark. Let's put some lights up. And then literally I was fidgeting with the lights and I was getting everything ready and had to move computers and all that kind of stuff. And then literally a van pulled outside the house. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, seriously. And then the delivery guy turned up and I said, 5 minutes later, I'd have just left you stood outside there for the next hour. Anyway, let's crack on because everyone's here now. So thank you for coming to Q&A Friday. Q&A Friday is basically me talking to you about anything social media, business, whatever's going on. Like whatever's going on. If you want to talk 1D, let's talk 1D. Look, I've even got, look. In honor of Zayn, my 1D cup. Sad loss to pop music. Did I sound sincere there? Probably not. Yeah, Zayn left 1D and like the internet went crazy. Did you all notice that? Like, that's like a typical example of news checking in social media. Like everyone suddenly was tagging like, Priv Zayn or 1D or whatever, and Reach just went ballistic and so many people like commenting on it. The same day, UK people will get this more than other people, but Jeremy Clarkson, the host of Top Gear TV program, he got fired by the BBC. What do I make of that? BBC, he perhaps cutting off his nose to spite his face, but at the end of the day, he punched, like he physically like another member of staff. That's not a good thing to do. So yeah, he had to go. What does it mean business-wise? I don't know. I don't know what the BBC are going to do there. That's a tricky one. Like to cull a really, really popular program that gets them a lot of viewers, probably makes them a lot of money as well. Don't know. We'll come back to that another time. We'll talk Jeremy Clarkson and Zayn and how 1D are going to cope another time. So you ask the questions, I answer them. We're totally live. Anything could go wrong. Techie things could go wrong. Anything. Whoa. But it is being recorded, so if anything does go wrong, there'll be a replay. Like there is a page on my website, sociallysham.com, Q&A. Go find it, and all the replays will be on there, along with my own notes as well. So first question, and this is from Lucy. Hi, Lucy. I actually know who Lucy is, so thank you. I put it in questions because I was really nervous thinking nobody may answer a question. But Lucy did. And Lucy asks, Sam, you've mentioned a lot, I've seen on Twitter that you mentioned a lot about things like fake fans and how a lot of people accumulate fake fans. Can you enlighten us a little bit? Yes. Okay, so fake fans are basically when you go, have you ever noticed like sometimes on Twitter especially, actually, this is quite a bad place for it, where someone will like connect with you and then they'll send you a message saying, I'll get you 1,000 fans for $5, or I'll get you 10,000 fans for $5, and you think, that's good, that makes me look really popular, and that's like 10,000 people to interact with me. It's not, they're fake. Okay, they come from things called click farms, and they're based in like India, the Philippines, places where probably your ideal customer isn't. If you're like a UK-based bricks and mortar company, why do you want 10,000 followers in India? They're not going to come buy for you, are they? No. They're not going to buy off you. And people like buy them to inflate their numbers and it makes them look popular. The problem is because they're fake, they're never going to interact with you. So they're pretty pointless to have. If you have them on Facebook, they're going to get deleted because Facebook keep going through culls of like getting rid of all these fake accounts, and they can spot them really, really easily because they kind of the way they're set up, it's really easy to spot. But also they'll be coming from a static IP address, so there'll be like thousands of accounts have the same IP address. So it's really simple for something like Facebook to spot it. Also, it is in breach of the terms and conditions of all the social networks to buy likes. Let's not fall out with social networks. Don't bite the hand that feeds. So don't be buying fake fans. A good way to spot if somebody has fake fans. I was talking to someone a couple of weeks ago, and he was like, "You know what? This is guy who's like a competitor of mine, and he only just started, but within like days." He had 10,000 followers on Instagram, and I just laughed. I was like, fake. And he's like, how do I know this? And it's really simple. And you can look on any of the networks like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can spot this really easily. So look at people like, if they tweet or post or whatever, and there is zero interaction. Like if a page has 100,000 fans on it on Facebook and every single post has zero interaction, or there is like one person liking every single post and it's the same person liking every single post, probably the page owner, chances are those 100,000 fans are fake. Now in my done for you services that I offer, where I have clients and I'm managing their Facebook pages for them, and some of them will have like 100,000 thing. I have one client who has like 140,000 fans, and every single post is getting hundreds, if not thousands, of likes. There's comments on every post. They're being shared a lot. Like we actually looked at a post the other day because we got some spammy comments on it, and we needed to go delete them, and we couldn't find them all because there were 3,000 comments on one post. It had been liked 132,000 times. Yeah, it had been boosted, by the way. That wasn't just organic. I'm not going to tell you now there's a secret trick to getting loads of organic Facebook reach. But that's a good example of genuine people, like pages that have a lot of fans, and that is how interaction works. So if you land on a page and you think, God, they're really popular, they've got like 100,000 followers, and I've seen someone on Twitter lately who's putting themselves out there as a social media online expert person, and they've got like 100,000 something or other number Twitter followers. Every single tweet there is zero. Nobody favorites, nobody retweets, nobody replies, zilch, nothing, nothing. Guess what? I went and had a nosy through their followers. Who's following these people that are never interacting? And sure enough, it was like, you can tell they've got like, eggs still for their profile pictures. They've no covers. There's no bio. There's no description. There's no link to a website. There's nothing in there. Just nothing. They're fake. Okay. So before you start believing the fakes are good and they're going to boost your numbers, they're not. They're just going to hinder you, actually, because Facebook are just going to either shut you down or they're going to delete all your fakers one day and make you look a bit stupid. But seriously, like, why would you want to spend your time and your efforts marketing to fakes? Bit pointless. So I hope that answers your little question there. Okay, next question. Ooh, this is a good one. I don't think that's your real name, by the way. Starfish. Either that or your parents are hippies or something. That's not offensive, by the way. I think it's just your email name. Okay, so Starfish S, I'm really, really, really overwhelmed by my social media. I find it really time consuming. I already have quite a good established business, but everyone keeps telling me I have to spend more time on my social media. Where's the fine line between wasting my time and being productive? This is another really good question. Let me just take a quick drink because it's going to be a good one. And this kind of teams in a little bit, actually, not with the fakes, but with online presence. So I'm in a lot of like Facebook groups and chat to people, and obviously I'm posting on my own business page. I've got a lot of clients as well that I do their posting for as well. So I do sort of spend quite a lot of time on social media. But the time I'm spent on there is generally because I'm working on it, because that's what I do, you know. And you have to find a balance between what you do, so what pays the bills, and also what you don't do that's not paying the bills. And I always think it's a telltale giveaway in someone's business if they have the time to literally be on Facebook all day. Like, I see a lot of people in groups and on their own pages and personal pages and stuff like that, and they are like posting on live posting as well, because I know how to spot the difference. Every God, 15-20 minutes, you know, and some of it's like a really waste of time. You know, what you having for lunch? By the way, if you want to know my reasoning behind that, go and watch my social media etiquette blog video. And it says in there about why you shouldn't be posting about what you're having for dinner. There's like a traffic jam outside at the moment. Very strange people around here. So yeah, in answer to the question about finding that balance, the balance is do what's productive. Don't spend loads of time just looking at stuff on social media. Like I said, when I see loads of people posting loads of things and they're like there every 15-20 minutes, the first thing that comes into my mind is, geez, have you no work to be doing? You know, I wouldn't have the time to be sitting there all day. Well, if I do have the time to be sitting there all day, it's probably because I'm posting for clients' work, or I have no work on. If I have no work on, then that's not a good situation to be in. So also what I would say is use scheduling tools. Don't be afraid to schedule. Like, some people are like, oh, you know, it's not authentic. Like, try running a business. I'm sorry, but these people that say it's not authentic if you schedule clearly have not a lot of work on. So if you are busy in your business, just schedule. So like a Monday morning or Sunday, or just when a time suits you, sit down for an hour, plan out your posts for a week, do it, leave it, forget it. Like, go away and get on with your life, get on with running your business. Obviously, pop in and out on a daily basis just to check, you know, if there's any comments, notifications, that kind of stuff. If there's anything you need to answer, deal with it. But honestly, even though I work in social media and it's what I do, it's the biggest time drainer your business has. So think what you're doing before you go on Facebook. Go on with a specific thing in mind that you're going to do. Don't just go on it for a browse, because you'll be sat there 3 hours later looking at cats, videos, cake recipes, whatever. So yeah, go on social media with a specific goal in mind. If you go on Twitter to find new followers, go on, spend 20 minutes, find new followers, and then leave. Don't hang around. Also, things like Pinterest are really big time drainers. So again, go on with a goal, what you're going to do it and get off. Like, if you're going on with the purpose of interacting, interact and then leave. Don't browse. Seriously, if you're on work time, you know, if you're in your working day, don't browse. Do the work and then leave. Browse in your time. Browse when you sit there, you can put it on your iPad and you can have a little scroll through while you're watching the TV or having a coffee or whatever. But don't browse in work time, because honestly, it will eat into your work time. You will get to the end of the day and go, I got no work done. Why got no work done? Oh, because I was doing like Disney princess quizzes on Facebook. Time drainers. Come on. Cool. Glad you got it. Next question. This is actually one that was posed in a group that I'm in. And it was actually a really good question, so I'm just going to use it now. And it was basically the person had quite a big email list, but a lot of it was dead. People weren't opening. The open rates were really, really low on the email list. And they wanted to know if there was any good tips or tricks or tactics for upping their open rate. So there's a couple of different ways you can boost your open rate. Firstly, you need to cleanse your list, so get rid of any that may be bouncing. You should be using an autoresponder software to cleanse your list and to keep your list nice and healthy. So just make sure that every email address on your email list is actually still active and viable and working, and that should work okay. We just got a question came in on the email. I forgot to say at the beginning, if you have a question while we're going, there is a box. Where is the box? I think the box is underneath. Let me just check here. I forgot to bring my mouse into this room, and I can't use, the trackpad things on laptops. I'm really bad at using them. Somebody else find that? Or perhaps it's just my age and I can only use a mouse. I know, pointless. But yeah. I'll come back to it in a sec. So what was I saying? Yeah, about the active email list. So yeah, just make sure in your autoresponder that your list is clean and that like every address that's on your list is actually still working and not bouncing. A really good little tip that you could use is looking at your headlines and what you actually put in your headlines. So there's quite a lot of resources. If you just Google like email titles or inspiration for email newsletters titles, something like that, you'll find quite a lot of tools out there that are really, really good for this stuff. And that will help you quite a lot. But also there are there's quite a few tutorials. I'm trying to think now of a really good one. I'll have to look that up and I will post it in the update. When I post this to the website, I will find a link to something because I know I read something recently and I saved it to my pocket and it's in there. So I'm going to find it and I will post it in the update. And it was like a title generator thing. It was really good. It was really, really good for emails, and it was like sort of a formula for getting your emails opened. The other thing that is quite a useful tool that you can do is you can export your email list and then upload it to Facebook in the audience tools in Ad Manager. And what you can do is create an advert and it will only be shown to those people that are on your list. So what you could actually do is segment your list and break it down into people that aren't opening, perhaps haven't opened the last 2 or past 3 emails that you've sent out. Upload that list to Facebook. I think the minimum, maybe there has to be 50 people on the list for the advert to work. I'm pretty sure it's 50. Again, I'll check that for the updates. But also what you can do is upload that list and it will go find them on Facebook. Based on their email address, it will go find them. And also then what you can do is create an advert that's sort of like a little reminder to those people of who you are. They may, like, say if you are online a lot and subscribing to a lot of lists, then sometimes you forget who you've subscribed to. And I do this sometimes. And I'll see an email pop up and I'll be like, who's that from? I don't remember subscribing to their list, or who are they, or whatever. And then when I look at it, or I might click on it, or I might click through to their website or their offer or whatever it is they send me, and then I remember. So, but that's only if I actually click on the email and look at it. So if you've got somebody on your list that perhaps is getting like email overload every day, which a lot of us do, they may have sort of forgot about you completely, but they just may not be paying attention. So by running a Facebook advert that's targeted just to those people, what you can actually do is remind them of you. What you could do to get them a little bit more active is, say, do them a opt-in offer. So you could have a download or a freebie or just some form of content. Just, a download or a freebie would be good to entice them back. And that's then going to get them to encourage. They're going to see your email pop up in their email box again. So that then is going to encourage them to open your emails more. And it just sort of jogs their memory of who they are. It won't be particularly big cost Advert because you're going for quite a targeted specific list. And Facebook's going to find these people on Facebook for you. So you don't even have to do like the work of breaking down the demographics or the interests or anything like that. The list's already there. So that's quite a good one, just for giving people that little reminder. I saw some other replies where people were like saying, oh, you should email them and ask them if they still want to be on your list. Chances are they're not going to open that email because they're not opening your emails anyway. So personally, if it was me and I had like a not very good list going on, and I probably would do Facebook adverts, see how that went. If they're still not responding, if like on some autoresponder email systems, they give people like a star rating for how much they open their emails, and you can look at like if they're opening your emails, they're going to be like a 4 or 5 star person. If they're sporadically opening your emails, they're probably going to be like a 3 star. If they're not opening, they're going to be a 1 or a 2 star. I think everyone starts out as a 2 star, and then obviously the more you open, that builds up. So if people are like 1 stars, you probably don't want them on your list because they're going to bring your open rate down. And obviously, if a lot of people aren't opening your emails as well, you could potentially get more to spam. So you don't want that to happen. So that's why it's a really good idea to have a nice clean list. So after you've run an advert campaign, after you've sort of tried to get them opt-in for a freebie, so to just get their emails moving again, if nothing's happened, perhaps segment them onto a separate list that you email out less. Like if you're currently doing a once a week or a once a month newsletter, and you've got people that aren't opening that, and even after the little prompt, they're not opening, then move them onto a separate list. Keep them off your nice clean list. Put them onto the naughty step list for not opening. And then email them a little bit less, like say once a quarter. And if they still don't open, you can start taking them off. You can dwindle them down. If they start opening again, move them back onto the good girls list. It's just all about making sure that your open rates stay high, because if your open rates drop low, like really low, or even people start unsubscribing or marking you as spam, which is what you really don't want to happen, like it's not going to go well for your good email delivery. Like people who want to see your emails may suddenly not see your emails, may stop seeing them because they go into their spam folders. And that can be tricky to get out of the spam folder. Let me just take a drink from the 1D cup. Pray for Zayn. My 14-year-old daughter, oh God, it was so funny. She wasn't home and I texted her and said, oh, did you know that Zayn's left 1D? And she texted me back telling me it was the worst day of her life. I was like, Jesus Christ, sweetheart, at 14, you got a lot more days to come. They're going to be a lot worse than this. Hang on in there. I'm going to do the email question because it's popped up on my screen here and I really like it. And I'm not going to say who it's from because I know who it's from and they'll kill me for reading out their name because I think they're at work watching this. I won't drop you in it, but you know who you are. Sam, you always come across as very bubbly and upbeat. How do you do that? How do you manage to do that, when dealing with the stress of running a business all day, every day? That's a good one. I think some people take bad days far too literally. Who wants to deal with someone that's like whingy and moany? Like I could sit here and go, oh God. Like imagine if you'd have tuned in now, right? And I'd just been sat here going, Jesus, man, I'm having a bad day. Like, Jesus, Mary and Joseph, you can't even believe the bad day I'm having. Like, this have to happen, that happened, these things didn't happen. I'm just making it up. But like, oh, this happened, and then this person annoyed me, and then this happened, and God, my life sucks. And then imagine if I'd have done all that and then gone, buy off me, please. Like, oh God, buy off me. That's going to make my bad day so much better. Like, you'd have turned off by now if I was like that. So a lot of people forget that what you put out, you receive. So if you're not a positive, like upbeat kind of person, and you're putting out like negativity, guess what's gonna come knocking on your door? Negativity. I'm not gonna get into the whole law of attraction, the secret kind of things, because like some people are into that, some people aren't into that. I like it. I read a lot of stuff on it. I do absorb it. And I do believe, you get what you put out there. And that's pretty much like most of us will have heard at some point, you reap what you sow, or, karma, or that kind of thing. And it is very, very true. And if you think of your times in your life when you've been like really down, like we all have really bad days. We all have really shitty, sorry, bad language, things that happen to us. It's called life, unfortunately. And you've just got to get on with it. And the answer to the question there, how do I keep going? And it's like, yes, I've had some really, I know this person's asking me this because they know the really bad times that I've had in my life. And I don't bring that into my business because, you know what? Everyone has shit in their lives. Everyone goes through shit. Everyone has bad things that happen. I'm not going to use mine to sell my business. It's as simple as that. So you'll never hear me saying my sob story as part of my business. I just won't do it. Not only that, it's not just my sob story. It's my family's sob story. It's my daughter's sob story. It's other people's story. And they aren't the ones trying to sell a business on the back of it. So you'll never hear me doing that. And I just kind of think, well, do you know what? At this point in my life, and yes, I have had some really bad things happen, but I've got 100% survival rate. Every bad day, every bad thing that's happened, every really horrible thing I've had to deal with, I've got 100% survival rate. So if today turns out to be a really, really, really bad day, chances are I'm going to survive. Chances are tomorrow morning I'm going to wake up, the sun's still going to rise, and it's a new day, and it'll be okay. So in answer to the question of how do I stay upbeat and jolly and everything else, and I don't always, but I would never project that onto my business because I want my business to be positive. I want it to grow. I want my clients to be happy. I want people to have a positive experience from dealing with me. So they don't want to deal with my negative shit. So I just keep that separate. I deal with it. I get out of it as quickly as possible. Like if I suddenly think, geez, I'm having a bad day here and I don't like this day and it's bad, I immediately think or focus or do something that's going to change that mood in me. And that's really important, actually. That's something that people really need to take a look at. I just another question coming up. I'll deal with that in a second. It's really important. If you start to feel yourself going, oh no, like you could suddenly get an email and it's a cancellation, it's a client canceling you, and you're like, damn, I just lost a load of money there, or somebody annoys you, or don't let it spiral. Like, stop, nip it in the bud straight away. Like, don't let it eat you any longer. Like, if you're set at your desk and you get an email that's like, I got one that's lying back and it was a client canceling. I knew they didn't have the money. Like, I knew, and they messed me around a little bit, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, we can't afford you anymore. The way the tone they put it, I thought was a little bit rude, and it was annoying because I had given them a lot of leeway, and I'd given them a lot more really than what they paid for anyway, because I kind of wanted to help them out. And then they were a little bit rude about it, and I just thought, ooh, that's gonna really annoy me. And if I'd have let it eat at me, I probably would have replied and been just as rude back. I didn't. I just got up, walked away from it, didn't look at it. And went and did something else, like that was going to put me in a better mood, to then come back and reply and go, yeah, okay, that's fine. Just call me if you need me. So that's one of the key things, really. If you are having a bad day or something happens that can set you off to having a bad day, just stop it, nip it in the bud straight away. Don't let it carry on any longer. Don't be a victim to it. That's really important as well. Don't let another bad thing happen that day. So the key is to just change your mindset really, 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 really quickly. Like, get out of it, be positive, be happy. Like, I don't know, find like a joke website, read some funny jokes, or, look up like funny videos on YouTube, or just do something that's gonna make you laugh, and then the bad stuff will fade away. Now, if you are having a truly bad day, perhaps just go to bed or something, like get the day over with, and then start tomorrow afresh. But yeah, in answer to my friend there, I just keep going. Like, that's all you can do. If you're trying to build a business, like, don't drag negativity into it, because guess what? That business is just going to be that negative, isn't it? So just keep going. Focus. Keep going. Keep going. Okay. There's another question on the email. I like this one, actually. What's the favorite? You talk a lot about cake. I do. I like cake. I like cake a lot. Someone just emailed in and said, "What's your favorite cake?" I don't think it's business related, but I don't care. I don't know. Jeez, I don't know. That's like a really tough question. That's probably one of the toughest questions I've had. What's my favorite cake? I like a nice chocolate fudge cake. So when you warm it up and it goes all gooey and chocolate saucy. That's nice. I like a good cheesecake as well. I like a nice cheesecake. This is a really tough question. I'm gonna have to take another question because that's a really, really tough one. I don't know. Perhaps I should blog about cake. I could do like live taste testing. That's actually a really good idea. If anyone wants to bring me loads of cake, I'll do like live taste testing. That could be cool. I like that idea. We'll come back to that one. I'll put it on the list. I'll come back to it. That just made me laugh, actually. That's from one email. I'm not getting the name. I can only see the email preview, and I don't like using the trackpad on the laptop. That's just funny. Oh, I need a sip from the Wandy cup. Who's your favorite? I like Niall. Uncle's Irish. He's cute as well. I'm on to be his mother, by the way. Not in that kind of cute way. My dad likes him too. By the way, this is daughter's cup, not mine. It isn't mine, honestly. It isn't. Oh dear. Okay, right. Next question. You said in your social media etiquette blog post. Oh, we already covered this, have we? About posting. Oh, right, yeah. Renting online. Why do I say, like, don't do that? Don't call other people out. Like, seriously. It kind of goes back to, what I was just talking about bringing the negativity into your business and portraying your negativity online. Like, imagine reading someone's like Twitter feed and it was all like, "Whoa, my life's so horrible. Buy my shit. Buy my stuff." Actually, do you know what? I just thought of a really cool example. Actually, I just thought of an example. People are gonna hate me for using this example, but in the UK, there's this thing. I don't do them because it just gets a bit spammy. But there's like this SBS Sunday, a small business Sunday thing, and it's this guy called Theo Pacitas who was on Dragon's Den. He was one of the dragons on Dragon's Den. He was a small business Sunday, like SBS hashtag thing on a Sunday, and you like tweet him your business, and then he like retweets some of them every week, and it's to give you exposure. And there's two people on there, and I unfollowed them. I know. One who never used to shut up about it. And I was kind of like a bit, yeah, okay, let's go bang another drum. And then they obviously realized that this constant retweeting other people's business, blowing smoke up people's asses, like hashtag Sunday thing, wasn't actually generating any business for them. And they clearly thought it should have been doing. And they actually got to the stage of they were tweeting out like, "Please buy this or I'm going to have to go and get a job. Please buy this because I can't afford to buy my kids Christmas presents." Please buy this, because if I don't get some sales today, I'm going to go out of business. Seriously, unfollow. Like, that's bringing proper negative into your business, isn't it? Yes, it is. I then had one person on the same thing who followed me, and then sent me a tweet. I thought it was a bit rude, actually, what they actually sent me. I can't even remember what it was now. I just remember like going, "That's a bit rude." And I think they were kind of trying to insinuate that I use like black hat SEO tactics. I don't even deal in SEO. Like, I know about it, but I don't deal in it. And 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 then I was like, well, why did you follow me, just to insult me? And you clearly hadn't researched my business first. And I kind of got the impression that he was being a bit Lord in the Manor, like, woohoo, I'm so bleeding great. Um, and so I thought, oh, rude person, I'm going to check you out. Why do you feel the need to be very rude? But it wasn't just me he was doing it to. He was like almost following people to say, you're a bit rubbish. You need to follow me and learn from me. And he was like, oh, what was his business now? Can't remember. So there you go. That's how much he made an impression on me. I remember his rudeness, but not his business. Um, and he was sort of like thinking, he was trying to self-portray himself as being a bit of an online guru because he'd won this SBS Sunday thing. And when I actually looked what he was doing, it was like, God, I don't want to read your tweets. They're really boring. And he was doing the constant retweet, 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 retweet. Oh, you're another SBS person. I must retweet you like 100 times. That's not what I want to see in my timeline, is it? And because if I'm going to follow you back, it's because I'm interested in you and not the 20,000 bleeding people you are retweeting, like the butchers in bloody Chester or wherever. Like, why am I 50, 100, whatever many miles away I am, wanting to buy my lamb chops from the butcher in bloody Chester? Like, I'm not gonna do, am I? Am I gonna get in my car and go, let's go buy these lamb chops that are 100 miles away, when I can just go to like Asda or Sainsbury's or wherever, just at the supermarkets, by the way. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't believe somebody just knocked on the door. They can go away. People have no idea sometimes. But yeah, and so it's really important. That's just really distracting me now. Go away. But it's really important to like not be putting loads of ranty stuff, like the woman who was buy my stuff, I'm gonna go out of business. And I can't. Oh, what was the other one she put? I cannot believe I've amassed 12,000 followers and nobody's buying off me. It's like, perhaps look at what you're putting out. Someone just not. Who's that person? Go away. So it does get a little bit like, don't be putting ranty stuff out. Like, you know, if you're having your bad day, don't put it on Twitter, maybe. There's no harm in sort of saying, geez, that was a bad long day. Thank God I got through it. But don't sort of like take out your business frustrations on your Twitter following, because they're not going to like you for it, are they? No, they're not going to like you at all. And also, don't be rude. Like, seriously, don't be rude to people. That's not very nice. I see another question come through. I know who this one. People I know, stop sending questions just to try and trick me. I know who that's from. Sorry, did I answer that last question? I think I did. Just be careful what you put out there. Don't portray yourself in a bad light. No. Be nice. Kids, play nicely. And certainly don't be rude to people. That's not very nice at all. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Woo, lost my train of thought by strange man knocking on my door. But yeah, the guy with the SBS thing and the like 20,000 retweets every day that I eventually just went, oh, God, go away, you're bugging me. And he was really rude, and he was being rude to a lot of people, and he was trying to sort of make out he was a bit of an online guru-y type person. Actually, that's going to bring me into my next question. That linked in nicely. Yeah, he was trying to make out he was like some online guru type person. And then I sort of went checking him out and landed on a website that went, really out of date website. probably actually picking up Google penalties. Also, do you know what? I'm going to give you a really, really, really big tip here. This is a really big tip. But did you know, like the little copyrighty date thing that you put at the bottom of your website so nobody steals your work? But like those people still do it anyway. But yeah, the little copyrighty date thing, keep it up to date. Like, I looked at someone yesterday who was trying to be a bit blow smoke up their own backside because they're like a fantastic website designer. And I looked at their webpage and it still said like 2014. I was dying to say, geez, man, did you not know it's like March 2015 now? You're out of date. But yeah, going back to the like annoying guy, he when I looked on his website, and bear in mind this was not long ago, 12 months ago, I think, something like that. And I looked on his website and he said like copyright 2012. I was like, oh, you're so 2012. Get over it. But yeah, there's your tip. If you take away one piece of advice from me today and do one little thing, and that will be like get your copyright date right. Because did you know you could actually get a Google penalty for that? You can actually get dropped down in the rankings for not having your copyright date up to date. So just go and check that today. Promise me. And let me know that you've done it. Okay? Cool. So that actually brings me into my next question here. So yeah, the guy, yeah. Anyway, he was like amassing all these followers and things. And he was like on Twitter all day. Jesus, man. It's like, shut up. The impression I got from his website was he doesn't really get very much business. So yeah, before you kind of go calling people out or being a bit rude to people or whatever, like look in your own backyard. My next question, this is a really, really, really good one. Because it kind of links to that as well. And it says, what do you make of the self-proclaimed experts and gurus? I call bullshit on that. Basically, I'd never label myself guru, expert, anything of that crap. Purely because there is a man walking up and down this street. I'm at home, by the way. I just thought I'd tell you that. I do have an office. I never go to it. I don't like offices. I'm at home. There's a man walking up and down the street in, like, those high-vis yellow jackets, and he keeps knocking on doors. I mean, there's the guy that knocks on my door, and I'm like, who are you? What do you want? Go away. Nobody seems to answer the door to him anyway. Yeah, right. Gurus and experts. So, yeah, I call bullshit on it. Right. Firstly, to be an expert in anything, like the defined term of expert, look this up. Look on Wikipedia. Just look it up, okay, if you don't believe me. But you have to be doing something consistently. How many days? Do you know what? I've just opened my mouth to speak now. I've forgotten how many bloody days it is. Oh, Jesus. It's hours. Is it like 10,000 hours or something like that? Anyway, I remember once doing the calculation. And it worked out that for you to be an actual expert in something, you have to have done that same thing day in, day out, every single day for 3 years. Now then, I want to enlighten you on something here. Social media changes like that. What you do on social media today, you won't be doing it the same way in 12 months. What we do today, the games we play with Facebook and its reach and its bloody organic reach and pay for reach and everything else. What we do on YouTube, what we do today in social media, we weren't abiding by same rules as what we were 12 months ago. So that's what I mean by changes all the damn time. So therefore, you aren't doing the same thing day in, day out, every day for 3 years. Because every single social network has changed in 3 years. Like, name me one that hasn't. Probably. No, see, can't even think. Okay, so that's how much it changes. It changes all the time. So therefore, nobody is an expert. Nobody. The only people who are the experts, and we can probably count them on like one hand here, are the people creating the social networks. They're Mark Zuckerberg people. They're that caliber of people. They are the experts because they're the ones creating it. They're the ones that are doing things in their heads. They've got the little ideas going on in their heads today that we're going to be doing in like 3, 4, 5 years time. Don't forget, like Facebook, like when Facebook first started, it was like the tiny little, like, dorm room network, wasn't it? Like it was called the Facebook as well. Like, and it was limited to that one specific college, and then it grew and grew and grew and grew and grew. But it was a while. I just can't remember the time frames here. But it wasn't like it was a little dorm room thing, and then like 2 weeks later, everybody had it. It was a long process. So that's what I mean about, like, the only experts are the people who are creating it now. The probable experts are the people who, like, the next guy in his dorm room who said they're going, I've got a really great idea. Like, I'm going to create the next Snapchat, the next Meerkat, the next whatever. And in 5 years' time, we'll be downloading the app on our phones. They're the experts. The experts are not the people tweeting that they're an expert. They may be very knowledgeable, and a lot of people are. Like, I would never label myself an expert. I'd say I'm very knowledgeable. A lot of people are self-proclaimed experts as well. Nobody else calls them an expert. Like, the way you become an expert is not by saying, hey, I'm an expert. It's by other people saying, you're an expert. That's the difference, okay? Like, you don't proclaim yourself an expert. Other people label you an expert. And I'm going to give you the most amazing tip in the whole wide world here, okay? Because I saw somebody do this the other day, and it was like crying, laughter kind of stage. Let me take a drink and dry mouth. Yeah, my coffee is getting cold now, by the way. I need like a coffee maker person to come help me, don't I? Like, Chloe's off school next week. School holidays. She's going to be helping. There you go, kid. When you watch the replay of this when you get home from school, because I know you will watch it, because you love what your mama does, you're going to be making me coffee next week. Anyway, yeah. So a really, 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 really great tip. I saw somebody the other day, and I follow him on Twitter because I'm polite. But basically, I noticed that they changed their profile. I can't remember how I came across it. Anyway, I noticed they changed their profile to being a social media expert. And I kind of, really? That's what we're doing this week, is it? And then when you look through their Twitter feed, they have their Facebook and their Twitter linked. Faux pas, faux pas, faux pas, faux pas. Oh. Okay, so if you want to label yourself, I'm going to tweet this out as well. Do you know what? I'm going to tweet this. If you want to label yourself a social media expert or guru, don't link your Twitter and your Facebook. The way you can tell when somebody has that is, on Twitter where there's like a little link. A lot of the time, like, the message will cut off. It's not quite complete. And there'll be a link to like fb.me, I think it says, something like that. That's how you know they got the Twitter and the Facebook linked. 0 points for professionalism there. Like, we don't do that. Who does that? People that do that are lazy. If you want to just schedule your message out to loads of places, just Hootsuite is something. But linking the Facebook through to the Twitter, bad faux pas. You're not a social media expert if you're doing that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to burst your bubble. I'm going to tweet that as well. I will actually too. I won't tweet it now, actually, because we're nearly done. So I'll tweet it when we're finished. But yeah, there you go. That's what I make of experts and gurus. Gurus. Does anybody else, when you hear the term guru, do you remember the film? Was it Love Guru? Jimmy Mystery was in it, I think. I just think of that. I can't get past that. I suddenly have visions of like Jimmy Mystery being like a social media guru, and he's like, what did he wear in that? He wore something really funny, didn't he? Like the shroud type. What's it called? Toga? Something like that? Is that what it's called? I can't remember, but look up the film if you've never heard of it. I'm sure it was called The Love Guru. I just can't get that out of my mind whenever I say it. It's quite funny. So yeah, like, just be careful what you label yourself. You could end up with an icky label that you don't want no more. Okay, this is my last question. because it's like nearly 10 to. We've nearly done an hour. Can you believe I've like sat here and gone blah, 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 blah for an hour with all these questions. Okay, this is the last question and it's come in live. I'm going to like briefly answer this. I like this question. And I'm probably going to cover it some more. I might cover it in a blog post actually. In fact, I am going to cover it in a blog post, but I'm going to briefly touch on it now. The question is, and it comes from Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Thank you. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Much love. Thank you. Oh, I just saw another message come in. Do you know what? I'm just going to do this really quick one before I go into the next one. Right? My daughter, Chloe, you're dead. You better be in a free lesson and not watching this in class with your headphones in or something bad like that. My daughter just emailed and said, Mom, can you remember to chop up my phone? Seriously? You emailed me during the webinar to the webinar email address to tell me to top your phone up? You can see how communication goes in my house, can't you? Right, okay, I'm going back to Sarah's comment. Chloe, you're dead when you get home for doing that. You know, really, I think it's quite funny that you did it. I really hope you're in a free class as well, in a study period or something. Kids. Right, Sarah's question. What do you do when the business gremlins set in? I'll get complete overwhelmed when I look at what other people manage to achieve. Okay, right, business gremlins. I like this. I am gonna cover it in a blog post because I'd actually been thinking. I'd read something very similar thing a couple of weeks ago, and I thought, Jesus, really good blog post. Business gremlins are the pets, right? Don't feed them after midnight. If you watch the film Gremlins, you know don't feed them after midnight. Don't give them in water. And they can really hamper your success. And the one thing that, like, do you know what? We all have doubts. We all have doubts. Like, when I first started doing video, I haven't got a clue what I'm doing, by the way, half the time. I just kind of wing it and hope for the best. But when I first started doing video, I was like, oh, God, I was overwhelmed. Like, the equipment, the software, doing this, like doing a webinar and going live, like, oh my God, the technology, like, I kind of like, whoa, meltdown overload. And from sort of having the little idea in my head, like, oh, that's really good, isn't it? And I'm going to do that. To then like starting to research it and starting to do it. And then I just went, oh, I don't think I can do this. It's really hard. And then I was like, do you know what? I have to do this because I've just bought new equipment and it ain't sitting there gathering dust. It's going to get used. And I said, you know what, I can do this. Like, seriously, I can do this. And I want you to think, like, when the business gremlins set in, like, and they often set in when we look at what other people are doing and what other people are managing to achieve, and we compare ourselves to other people. And actually, that's not a good idea. Like, don't compare yourselves to other people. Just focus on you, on what you do, on what you do best. And I think it's really important to just keep on thinking, I can do this. Like, do you think people like climbing Mount Everest? They probably stand at the bottom of Mount Everest and look up and go, oh, holy shit, that's a big bleeding hill in the middle of this range. That's going to be hard. Oh, there's lots of snow and ice on it. And they probably think, Jesus, can I do this? Like, and if I stood at the bottom of Mount Everest and looked up, I just went, holy shit, get me on the next flight home. So you have to sort of remember in your mind and remember in your focus, like, you can do this. The reason you've had that little bright idea to do something is because your mind's telling you, you can do this. You absolutely can do this. Now, don't set yourself a really unrealistic expectation and then wonder why your business gremlins creep in going, you can do that. No way can you do that. Okay, so don't set yourself the expectation that by this time next month, you're going to make £1 million. When at the moment, you're lucky if you're like making £100 a week. Like, don't set yourself up to fall. Like, make a realistic expectation. But when those business gremlins do come in, it's probably because you're at the point that most people give up. And this is a really sad fact about a lot of businesses, is that so many people give up at the very point they're about to succeed because it gets so hard and the gremlins are just going like chewing at your head all the time and going, you can't do this, you can't do this. Like, you can't do it, you can't do it. And you're not telling yourself the positive of, I can do this. Of course I can do this. Like, this is easy. You know, remember the very first point I made, like going back, like, I don't know, 30 minutes ago, and I said, like, about having 100% survival rate of getting through bad days. So when those business gremlins come in, just remember you've currently got 100% survival rate of getting through bad days. Like, quash the gremlins and just constantly tell yourself, I can do this. Like, I can do it. I can do it. Like, don't sit in front of your computer and think, I have to do all these really like techie, geeky things. And like, you may have no idea, but you know what? There's always help out there. There's always help. Like, if you don't know, like if you're doing something online, like a techie, geeky thing, like in WordPress or like this, doing a webinar or putting out a download or doing an email autoresponder, do you know what? If you get stuck and you don't know what you're doing, just Google it. Go on YouTube. You will find help. Seriously, you'll find help. And if you don't know where to find help, go to my Socially Fantastic Facebook group. Make sure you join the group. For God's sake, come join the group. Like, ask the questions, look for help. And that's what's really important. And a lot of us like get to the point and go, oh, overwhelm. And rather than reach out and ask for help or go find the help or go get the help, we give up. And that is like why so many businesses fail at that point of getting so close to success. So this is really important. And this is going to be my last point, and then I'm going because I'm like, getting so dry mouth here from talking so much. But if the business gremlins start attacking, firstly, shut them up. I've just got a really great book for you to read, and I will put a link in the notes because this, right, business gremlins are actually your inner chimp. And there's a fantastic book, and it's called, it's by Dr. Steve Peters. Ooh, hope I didn't get your name wrong. And it's called Chimp Management. And I read this book, and it identifies the voices in your head that are talking to you. So the chimp that's going, you're rubbish, you can't do this, how to shut your chimp up. And it's fantastic. Read it. A lot of professional sports people read it and go through the chimp management program with Dr. Steve Peters. I hope that is his name, or else I've just like given someone else credit for this. But it's about having the right mind focus to just go, I can actually do this. I can achieve this. I can work through it, and I can get through it. So, read the book. I'll put it in the notes. Okay. A link to the book where you can go buy it on Amazon or download it on a Kindle or wherever, or there's a website as well. But also, like, if your chimp's going a bit ballistic, your gremlins, we now call them chimps because I've just remembered chimp management. But if the gremlins and the chimps are like going a bit ballistic and you're getting complete overwhelmed, just thinking, I can't do this, ask for help. That's the biggest tip I can give you in business. If you're stuck, get help. Either find out how to do it yourself. Like, if you're on a shoestring budget and you have no money, you're just going, right, it's a website-y thing and I have to build it myself, but I really don't know what I'm doing. Find help. Like, there are thousands. If it's a website problem, okay, we'll use that as an example. But if it's a website problem, like, there are thousands, and I mean literally thousands of YouTube videos, like how to do things in WordPress or how to do things on websites, like that will take you through it step by step. Like, seriously, get the help. The next point is, if you really can't do it, pay someone to do it for you. Like, don't let your whole business crumble because you're going, I can't do a certain thing. Don't let that happen to your business. And like I said, like, so many businesses fail at the point of, it's like standing on the edge of the cliff, you know, and it's like do or die kind of thing. And most people choose to die. Not literally. They're not going to jump over the cliff. Oh God. No, they're throwing the business over the cliff. And standing on the edge of the cliff and watch that and go bye-bye. And it's always so many people do it at that point where they just need to push through the overwhelm, push through the business gremlins, get help. If you need help, get help. And then you come out the other side and you're a lot stronger, you're a lot more confident, and your business is better for it. So there is the top tip I'm going to leave you with. So I've actually given you some good tips to do today. So one is change the copyright thing on your website. Get that done like now. The minute I say bye-bye, you go click on your website and you change the copyright thing. And the second one is I believe the thing for chip management, because you really should read it. It's a very, very good book. And I'm done. So I really hope you learned a lot today. I really hope it was some benefit for you. If you want to go back and watch again, I will put the replay up on my website, membersociallySam.com. I don't remember what the page link is. Sorry, I'll put it in the YouTube video. You'll find it. And I'll email it out as well. And don't forget to register to come back next week. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to go follow. Remember, follow Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Pinterest, Instagram. I forget where I am sometimes. Don't follow me in the street. That's just creepy. And I will see you next Friday. Bye.